What's good, Wizards fans? So we have a trade, an unexpected trade. I did not think that they were going to trade Turbo or Deni Avdija. So let's go over the trade real quick. Let's look at Woj. So as I know, they traded Deni Avdija to the Portland Trailblazers for pick 14, and then Woj tweeted out some more details. So the Trailblazers sent in the second most favorable of their 2029 first round picks and 2 second round picks in the deal for Deni Avdija. Sources tell ESPN. So we're going to get the favorable of their 2029 first round pick, which is 5 years from now, and then 2 second round picks in the deal. We get Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is not going to be here for long. He'll probably be here for like 1 or 2 years. Let me see what is Brogdon's contract anyway, just to look that up. But he's not going to be here long. He's going to be moved to somewhere else. He might even be rerouted somewhere tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, if Brogdon was traded to a contender. I remember Malcolm Brogdon said it himself, and he did go to University of Virginia, so he is somewhat of a local guy. Rookie of the year and all that. Dunked on LeBron when he was playing with the Bucks. Malcolm Brogdon's a darn good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but our direction, what we're doing right now, Tyus Jones has to go for sure. He's got to get traded. He's got to get signed and traded somewhere else. So there's no way you're going to have Brogdon, Jordan Poole, and Tyus Jones on the same team. So Tyus Jones has to be moved tonight too. But to get back to Deni, man, I mean, he's on a good deal, $13.5 million per year. Had a 41-point game this year. I mean, he had some really, really good games, and he really, really improved, man. I hate seeing an actual Wizards draft pick improve and get better when we trade him. Like, it's so hard, especially under the Tommy Shepard era, because I know Tommy Shepard's gone, but out of those guys, I mean, Rui improved. We traded him. Deni improves and gets better and is on a favorable deal. We picked one of the two at the time. We picked Deni, or the previous regime picked Deni. And then now this regime, they paid Deni the extension, $13.5 million per year on a really, really, really good deal. And they decided to trade him. So it's somewhat of a head scratcher. I get number 14. And it's consensus says this is a weak draft. I think it's a mid draft. It's okay. Like, the top half is just not that great. There's clearly no Victor Wembanyama's. You're not going to get that much. But there's no Paolo Bancheros. Even Evan Mobley. I think Chet Holmgren would go first in this draft easily. Evan Mobley would go first. He would be the first pick in this draft easily. So guys, as you look at like pick 5, the 5th pick of the draft would be first in this year's draft. Like, Zachary Reese-Shea is being compared to Tobias Harris and Harrison Barnes, and he most likely is going to be the first pick of the draft. And Alex Sarr is being compared to Evan Mobley, but they're calling him a poor man's Evan Mobley. Or respectfully, I call him a common man's Evan Mobley. So and that's pick 1 and pick 2. After that, you got Dalton Connect and Reed Shepard, who's small and maybe a defensive liability and whatnot. So it's kind of like this draft is not the draft to really trade Deni. Maybe you wait next year and you trade him in a better draft. So it's a head scratcher there. But you look at Deni, man. I mean, he had some really good games. Like I said, like, you look at the numbers, 3-point percentage improved, went from 29% to 37%. Field goal percentage improved, went from 43% to 50%. Points per game improved, went from 9 points to 14 points a game, almost 15 points. He got votes for most improved player of the year. He got votes for that. And he was in the running for that. The rebounds went up from 6 rebounds to 7 rebounds a game. Assists went from 2.8 to 3.8 assists per game. So every single category went up. Free throw percentage went up from 73% to 74. So, I mean, not much of a big time jump, but man, he's just improved in everything, every statistical category. Field goal percentage, like I said, 43% to 50%. Finishing around the rim or above the rim. He's starting to dunk on people. Finish strong. That was one of the things I always talk about, him not finishing around or at the rim. And missing layups. He was starting to finish at the rim. Heck of a passer. Heck of a rebounder. He's a darn good rebounder. How many double-doubles did Deni have on a year? Like, Deni had an insane amount of double-doubles, man. Like, he had some really a stretch where he just was getting doubled. He was a double-double machine. Some really, really high rebounding games this season. I'm just looking at something. He had 24 and 12 against the Bulls, 32 and 10 against the Raptors, 22 and 12 against the Portland Trailblazers, 23 and 8. Now, I get it. Some games Kuzma didn't play and Tyus didn't play and some other guys like Bagley didn't play. So it was like him getting 35, 40 minutes a game. Let's see if he does that with the Blazers. He'll be with Ayton and Scoot, and Jeremy Grant is still on the roster at the moment. So we'll see if they move him or whoever. But, yeah, I mean, just looking at this move from the Wizards' perspective, I think it is Personally, I would not have done this move. If I was going to trade Deni, I would have waited until next year's draft. And I personally would have just kept him because I think he fits the timeline. You got to have some young pieces develop. Now, I get it. Cooper Flagg and guys like that, that's they're really tanking. They're really banking on the 2025 draft, which is a huge risk. Pick 14. I mean, there's some good players. You can get Bub Carrington. You can get Zach Edey. There's some talented guys. You can get Isaiah Collier, Devin Carter. But are those guys at 14, are they going to be more impactful than Deni Avdija? Are they going to be better than him? That's a question mark there. So, but I do like Zach Edey at 15. I wouldn't mind that. Khalil Ware, I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, I am going to miss Deni, man, because he's a tough player. He's a versatile player. He can defend 1 through 4, 1 through 5 at times. And he's just a stand-up guy, man. I interviewed him. I have media credentials. I interviewed him and talked to him. So I got the chance to talk to him before he was traded. So that was cool. But man, like I said, Michael Winger, Will Dawkins, I really hope they make a good draft pick with this. And then you don't get to see the benefit of this pick 4 years from now. 4 years from now. So I mean, Mikal Bridges gets 4 unprotected picks. Deni now gets 2 firsts and 2 seconds, which is, it's not a terrible haul, but was it a necessary haul? That's just me. Was it a necessary haul? Is this 14th pick really going to help you is it going to help you more than having Deni in this rebuilding phase? That's the question mark. I mean, the 2029 is 4 years from now. I mean, and then what are they going to do with Kuz? Are you going to trade Kuz tonight, or are you going to wait till the trade deadline, or are you going to wait till next year? Are you going to trade Kuzma for the 13th pick from the Kings? Like, that's most likely what's going to happen, is they trade him to the Kings for like the 13th pick of Harrison Barnes or the 13th pick in Kevin Huerter. So now you have pick 13, pick 14. Do you parlay those picks and move up into the top 10? And honestly, it's kind of like the top 10. Is there anybody else who's really worthy? I mean, Donovan Clingan maybe, Stephon Castle, but they may be gone by the time you get up to pick 7 or something like that. So it's a lot to think about, guys. It's a lot to think about. But I do want to pay homage to Deni. I thank him for being a great professional here. He improved and got better each year. Like I said, I thought he was pretty darn bad those first couple of years. Really, not the first couple. Offensively, he was bad. Defensively, he was good, but offensively, it was a struggle. Couldn't dribble with his left hand to save nothing. He had no left hand. He didn't want to do anything with his left hand. He didn't want to dribble with his left hand. He just wanted to go right every time. If it wasn't going right, then it wasn't going to end right. But like I said, I mean, he's really improved. I think he's going to help the Blazers. The Blazers' direction is really odd to me. They're not going to make the playoffs anytime soon. So we'll see where he fits on that roster with Scoot having the ball. He's the guy that has to have the ball in his hands too to be successful. I mean, him shooting the 3 better is going to help him be successful next to Scoot, but Scoot is going to be their point guard. Of course, they got Delano Blanton. They got who else is on the freaking Blazers? Blanton, Scoot, Jeremy, and DeAndre Ayton, and then I can't even remember who else is on the Blazers roster, to be honest with you. I'm just blanking on their roster. I actually went to the game and saw them play in person, but I can't even remember who was on that roster. But I will say that a lot of Deni fans were toxic at times. But like I said, it's all good, man. It's all good. It was a lot of fun and banter when I was on Locked On Wizards with my guy Brandon. So hold on. It says the Wizards remain active in trade discussion center around Kyle Kuzma as well. This is per Evan Sittery. Washington could attach Kuzma alongside numbers 14 or 26 to move up even higher in the draft from their current slots. Kuzma and Malcolm Brogdon are players who might still be on the move tonight. Yeah, they're not keeping Malcolm Brogdon. Like, they're not doing that. They're not keeping Malcolm Brogdon. It's not happening right now. So somebody tweeted, people overrate Deni like he's a superstar. His ceiling is a 15 points per game guy who's good at everything, but getting 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks is not bad. So, I mean, you look at it from the surface, 2 firsts, it's the 14th pick in a weak draft or in a mid-draft or in a solid draft, and then you get a 2029 first. So, I mean, you got to wait 4 years for the pick. So, like I said, it's kind of like the Gafford trade. I mean, I didn't mind them trading Gafford, but was it kind of necessary to get the 26th pick back? I mean, you're going to get talent with the 26th pick, but are they going to be better than Daniel Gafford? So it's kind of like that. That's the kind of thing. But with this one, you do get multiple firsts and then just 1, and you do get 2 second-round picks for Deni Avdija. So, but like I said, we'll say about the fan base definitely was toxic at times, but it was all fun and games, man. It was all fun and games. Also, Sam Vicini says, really good deal by Washington. Deni's about to become one of the best value contracts in the NBA, but a lottery first, another first in Brogdon. Be either keeping him or shipping him somewhere else is a good bit of business. So bit of business. So there's some other takes there. Let's see what we can get for Malcolm Brogdon. What can they get for Malcolm Brogdon? Somebody thinks that they're going to package 26 and 14 and move up in the draft for 2 top 10 picks. I don't say that. Maybe 1 top 10 pick. But Stephon Castle, Donovan Clingan, is Dalton Connect really worth trading Deni for in the long run? So I mean that's the biggest question mark there. Are these guys really worth trading in this draft? Should they have waited until next year's draft to start all these moves? So that's the only question mark for me. So like I said, Stephon Castle, Clingan, are those guys going to be there? Let's see if we get Sarr tonight. That would be a good win if we can get Alex Sarr for sure. But man, this is definitely a curveball for sure. This is a curveball. So I'm just looking at like who other guys that we can get. Clingan, Cody Williams, Jalen Williams' little brother, Dalton Connect, Matas Bazilis. He's fine. He's okay. But honestly, I would keep Deni. If your goal is to move up and get Matas Bazilis, then I would rather just keep Deni. Bub Carrington, who's from Baltimore, went to Pittsburgh. Solid player. Rob Dillingham. I do like Rob Dillingham. I would be very happy with Rob Dillingham at pick 14. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I would love that. But it's kind of like Jordan Poole and Rob Dillingham are very similar players. Just bucket getters for sure. But I love Rob Dillingham's game. Zach Edey, Jared McCain from Duke. I do like him. And Evis Misi from Baylor. I do like him. Kaishan George is solid. Khalil Ware, I would like him a lot too. I like him a lot. Ryan Dunn from Virginia, that's a little too high. I'm just looking at mock draft right now. Isaiah Collier would be a good pickup too. I would like him. Deron Holmes out of Dayton is a solid pickup too. So, all right, you guys, let me know what you guys think, man. Crazy trade here, man. Crazy trade. Let's see if these guys end up being right in the next couple of years. Will Dawkins, Michael Winger, and Travis Schlenk. Let's see if they end up being right, and time will tell. Time will tell. Let's see what they do. I wouldn't mind Zach Edey though. I wouldn't mind because he's a behemoth, man. 7'5". And dominant, could just take me back to the George Mirasan days, honestly. But he's just more physical and stronger. No disrespect, I love George Mirasan for sure. But all right, you guys let me know what you guys think of Health Commanders. Health to the Wizards. Peace.